Welcome to the Five Seasons Hotel, Restore Yourself at the City Center of Culture and Heritage. I would like to first give you a brief introduction of the property. It is located in the city center with 3 to 4 star, serving in business, leisure, tour, contract, large group, and small group segments. The hotel itself is 8 years old with 250 guest rooms, including 50 premium and 200 standard. We have one restaurant with the hotel property. We offer free parking ramp, guest laundry, dry cleaning, and many other facilities within the hotel. During the following year, my team have tried to maximize the profit of the Five Seasons Hotel and made few changes within the hotel. As you see in the graph, the hotel has started off pretty well and mostly been improving its performances. My team would like to share you specific changes we have made within the hotel.
When setting our prices, we decided to focus only on transit market segments throughout all quarters, offering higher prices via direct bookings, since OTAs and GDAs charge high commissions. Transit market segment has the highest profit contribution with 27% all year long, with our standard room category being constantly the most successful one during the year. Regarding our channel distribution, we were right, and direct bookings indeed gave us the best profit contribution all year. Unfortunately, we did not focus too much on the discounted segment, which would have been profitable for us. Also, we didn't carefully set prices according to segment characteristics. See the yellow arrow. For example, we should have charged more for the package, since it includes meals and beverages. And we didn't carefully set prices according to different distribution channels. See the green arrow. This is a point of improvement. Now to a more detailed performance analysis. In Q1, our room rates were similar or slightly higher than our competitors, but unfortunately, we forgot to differentiate the rates between weekends and weekdays. We believe guests coming through GDS are not likely to stay over weekends since they're there for business, or premium room types are more demanded during the weekends, for example. This is something we changed at the end of the quarter. Furthermore, for groups, we have a higher market penetration index than market average. Our room rates may be preferred by groups in this quarter. We could use these room rates as a reference in further price setting. In Q1, we have the lowest occupancy of the year, but our GOP increased by 10% from January to March. In the second quarter, we decided to reduce all prices by $5 to see the impact on our occupancy, and indeed, it went up by almost 10%. Also in June, we decreased all our rates by $1 to be less round in hope to attract new guests, and it worked. Our occupancy increased one more time, around 3%. Q3 has the highest occupancy of the year, despite of our hotel offering the second highest rates among our competitors. This might be because of the summer season. At the end of the quarter, we experienced a large drop in occupancy due to the end of the season. In our last quarter, we decided to kill the market by offering the lowest prices of our competitors. Unfortunately, exactly the opposite what we expected happened, and we experienced a massive drop in our occupancy around 12%. As mentioned before, this might be because of our decrease in quality over the last month. Regarding our KPIs, our ADR and RevPAR are almost higher than our competitors during all quarters, and our occupancy is always lower than the market.
I am going to explain to you our refurbishment planning. In green, we have the contract cleaning and services, in blue, the soft good renovations, and in yellow, renovation. Overall, the hotel spent $560,000 on these three aspects. We did in total 20 contract cleaning, 9 soft good renovations, and 3 renovations. This is a lot, as even the program RevSim did not allow us to make any more contract cleaning from June, as we already cleaned too much. This is one of the reasons that from July on, there's no more cleaning contract, but only soft good renovation, and this has led to a decrease in guest quality, and Ivan will show it to you later. One point that is very interesting is that sometimes the cleaning for same outlet was done continuously. For example, lobby and public area was done in January and February. Renovations were done at the beginning of the year as we knew that the hotel was quite old and not up to date. So this is also one of the reasons, a part that our manager has OCD, that we did so many cleaning at the beginning so the guests would feel comfortable. One of the main challenges was to spend the money and know how to plan in advance. Indeed, some months we wanted to renovate more or clean more, but we didn't have enough money despite the good results of the hotel. One mistake was to clean after the renovation of soft good renovations. One of the clearest examples is the meeting rooms between February and March, as we did 2 months of soft good renovations, but then we did 2 contract services, and it was 2 contract different, so it was a waste of money. One of our mistakes was that maybe we cleaned too much at the beginning and did not have a clear strategy, but we tried only to run after the guest comments and to make it as best as possible. So therefore, in some months, we spent 21% of the overall budget on cleaning, but other months, we just spent 0%.
And now we'll be looking at price value maps and guest satisfaction. So, If we look at the price value maps for Q1, in February our quality is very high and our price is average. Same in March, although other hotels started catching up in terms of quality in March. This is due to the fact that we scheduled a lot of cleaning of all our facilities because we wanted to make sure that everything was satisfactory for our guests. And we can see that in the guest satisfaction, the highest satisfaction we have is for the front desk. This is normal because we scheduled a refurbishment. And then we can see that from February to March, the guest rooms premium and standard increase. That's also due to the cleaning by 5%. The front desk remained the same. However, the parking grounds and pools still remained at 65%, but the environmental program was also improved. Now, looking at Q2, so we can see in our price value map that the quality decreased and that other hotels started catching up to us in April. This is due to the fact that we scheduled more cleaning. However, it did take 2 months, so we can see that in May our quality goes back up and stays pretty constant in June. Although we decreased our prices, they still seem to be among the highest in comparison to other hotels in Q2, and that's because we changed our prices a lot. So we can see between April, May and June that our pricing it starts lower and then stays the same and then goes back in. So that's because many people were changing their prices and so were we. Now if we look at guest satisfaction for Q2, guests were still very satisfied due to the continuous cleaning that we were scheduling. Our environmental program was at 100% for April and May, which was the highest, and the front desk was also very satisfactory to our guests. This is because we did a lot of cleaning and soft goods redo. Now, if we look at the price value map for Q3, that's when our quality decreases a lot compared to other hotels, and this is because actually we weren't able to clean anymore. We had done so much cleaning in the first 2 quarters that we couldn't do anymore. The system wouldn't allow it, and we didn't have enough money to do refurbishments or buy new facilities, so we kind of just had to let that be. We did, however, perform a soft goods redo on the bar, lounge, lobby, and Publix area and restaurant, but it didn't really seem to help, so clearly, compared to average, our quality was not good enough. Now, our prices steadily decreased in comparison to other hotels, although we increased our rates by $20 in August. So again, with the pricing, we weren't very consistent. We kept changing them, increasing, decreasing month to month, and this maybe wasn't the best strategy. Now, if we look at guest satisfaction, however, although we don't have anything at 100%, we're not in the red. Guests still think that our facilities are okay, especially the associate facilities. And at the end of the quarter in September, we also seem to be fine. We don't have any data for July because we decided to cut back on our marketing expenses and therefore on our guest satisfaction surveys. And that meant that we didn't have a guest satisfaction review for July. If we look at the price value map for Q4, our quality is still declining because we don't have any money to do any refurbishment. We don't have the ability to clean, so there's nothing we can really do to improve that. And what we decided to do in terms of pricing is kill the market. And what we mean by kill the market is to experiment and see if we could increase our occupancy by drastically decreasing our prices. So we can see that our prices actually, even though we decreased them a lot, are still higher than our competitors. And then at the end of Q4 in December, they are close to average, except our quality is very low. So if we look at the guest satisfaction surveys for Q4, although we're still in the green for October, November, we're nowhere near 100%. We're more in the 60-65%, and this is obviously still because we can't clean or refurbish. And then we end December with only the lobby and public areas that are at 52% satisfaction. This seems to be okay compared to our competitors. Everyone near the end of the year, except the Ice and Fire Hotel and Way Jiffy, we're doing okay compared to all of them. So that's that for price value maps and guest satisfaction.
You can see an increase in average occupancy throughout the year. In January, at the beginning, we have a slightly higher than 45% of rooms were occupied. But at the end, in December, the management team was able to push the ratio to 60%. This is a good progress to our hotel. In July, we had the highest occupancy. Given that our pricing strategy has been consistent, it can be assumed that more customers came to our hotel because we have a better service quality provided. Well, if we can also see that from the graph, our hotel performance follows seasonality. That we have the high season in summer and a low off-peak season in winter. If we break down the curve into weekend occupancy and weekday occupancy, we can notice that our weekend occupancy is always lower than weekday occupancy. Well, if we look back at the prices, one of the possible explanations to the phenomenon is that we had a huge increase, we have a biggest increase from weekday rates to weekend rates. Therefore, lowering weekend rates might be a possible strategy to attract more customers. If we compare our hotel to our competitors in terms of occupancy index, ADR index, and RevPAR index, we can see that our occupancy is always lower than CompStat. Possible explanation is that we have always implementing a skimming strategy that is charge our customers at a higher than market average price, but also offer them a better service quality. RevPAR index has always been in the same direction as ADR index, except noticeably in August, we increased our price by $20. As a result, our occupancy decreased dramatically. We can further prove that our customers are price sensitive. If we break down occupancy into market segment, there are several interesting points. We see a general increase in discounted and transient segment, but a decrease in groups. For transient, the blue line, we stayed behind the market average throughout the year. But in December, we have lowered the rate by a huge amount, and in the end, as a reward, we get more market shares. For discounted, the red line, we outperformed the market 3 times. For groups, we have a considerable amount of market share at the beginning, but we were not performing well towards the end of the year. As a result, we need to keep up the group work and relationship with transient segment, where we will need to put more efforts and resources on attracting group customers.
So to conclude, if we look at the graphs that were made by the professor comparing all hotels, our hotel's profit, it wasn't the highest overall during the year, but it wasn't the lowest either, and it had a constant growth, but stayed kind of stagnant at the end. Our average facilities and service ranking were the highest overall compared to other hotels throughout the year. This is due to the fact that we did so much cleaning, and even though it decreased in our last quarter because we couldn't do any more cleaning or refurbishment, it's still the highest. Our RGI was quite constant, which is also very good. We did experiment quite a bit with our pricing because we wanted to have a look at the effect it would have on our occupancy. Of course, the whole point of this exercise is to experiment, to learn. We definitely learned a lot. We didn't end the year as well as we would have liked to, but at least it was a great learning experience because we really saw there's no space for mistakes and that you have to have a plan, a set plan before you start, especially in terms of pricing and refurbishment and cleaning. Because of course, if you do all your cleaning at the beginning, it's not going to be very efficient because then you can't do much at the end, and it really has to stay constant. So that's what we learned. And now our recommendations for the people that will be taking over our hotel for year 2 is to not clean so aggressively at the beginning of the year. Space it out, save a bit of money, maybe see if you want to maybe have a spa put in, and really try and save up a bit of money and clean kind of once every 3 months if you want your quality to remain constant. Have a clear pricing strategy. That's what we learned. Don't make any mistakes. We had a mistake whereby we hadn't differentiated the weekdays and the weekends. That really had a big effect on us. So make sure that your pricing is really clear. Of course, adjust it as you go along, but try and make it constant. And decide what pricing you'll be doing for GDS and OTA. That's also very important. Take into account seasonality. Of course, it's not real life. You can't know if there's an event going on or anything. We didn't take any groups. We didn't even try to because we thought that we might be losing money by taking such big groups. So maybe a recommendation would be to try and take on a group next year. Big reservation, of course, if you wouldn't be losing money, and have a long-term strategy. That's what we've learned, and we hope it'll help you in your running of the 5 Seasons.